All right, good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday morning, July 7th, 2021. Thank you for joining me again. We had originally planned of not doing virtual meetings anymore or do a video YouTube updates, but due to popular demand, two people expressed interest that I should continue that. And also we saw that there are actually quite a number of residents who run then the recorded version after the live version. So there are some folks up to 100 or so watching those video messages after they have been broadcast. We will continue that, and I will be committing to do this every 4 weeks or so. And also, I hope that sooner or later we can go into live face-to-face meetings again that I hope we can schedule at the community room in the library. So with that, welcome back, everyone. I have just a few bullet points today that I wrote down that might be of interest for you. Of course, let's start with the pandemic that originally created also the virtual meetings that we are holding together for over a year now. The pandemic course of the pandemic, of course, is now being dominated by the discussion of the efficacy of the vaccines against the Delta variant. And you've heard on the news probably that there are various studies underway and results are coming back with respect to the efficacy of the vaccines. The largest one that we see is Pfizer and their study from Israel, and these are Israeli data that is being promoted or discussed also here in the States, is that the efficacy against the Delta variants is about 64% right now. And Israel has been always on the forefront of the vaccination efforts. They were practically the first country that has reached herd immunity, and so we should take those data points seriously. I can tell you that from the philosophy of the city manager's office here in the city of Monterey, we are not treating the pandemic as something that is in the rear view mirror whatsoever. We are keeping a very, very close eye on all the developments, and frankly, my personal opinion is that this is not over yet. So we have to remain vigilant and watchful about what's going on outside. I shared this same impression a couple of days ago, weeks ago, I think last week, Monday, actually. I shared that information also with the Chamber of Commerce in a meeting with the Government's Relations Committee. And I shared with them my assessment that it's great to see the businesses are roaring back, but we have to remain absolutely aware that this can change in a heartbeat. Yesterday, I had a chance to speak to another business leader, and we were both discussing the course again of the pandemic and the roaring back of our economy. But he also surprisingly shared with me as well is that the cautious approach is something that drives his guidance to his team as well. So we will remain cautious. We will remain vigilant. We have to acknowledge, though, on the other hand, that all around us, the businesses are full, the hotels are full, large-scale events up and down the state are being held, and people are congregating in concerts and baseball games, etc. And so we need to, again, acknowledge all that is going on around us, and we need to be conscientious of that, but we also need to be vigilant and careful. So that's how we look at many of the things we are implementing in the city and many of the things that we are doing here in Monterey. Um, yeah, thank you, Esther, for that information about Pfizer. That is very helpful, and yes, that is reflective of what I knew about the connection there as well. The city is, as I stated, is full of visitors. We have the trolley now run on a daily basis between uh, the parking garages, Wharf 1, and again, the aquarium. And they are shuttling people back and forth. It started on the past July 4th weekend, and I will share with you in 4 weeks some ridership numbers, because MST is really keeping good track of that. The streets were fuller a few weeks ago when everyone came out of the stay-at-home order, and the big launch of California has reopened on June 15th, had its effect on our roadways. The streets were clogged. Even though we have adaptive traffic signals on the main fares, Del Monte and Lighthouse Avenue, and to a degree also on Pacific, you could tell that saturation was saturation, and we had the most traffic counted for the past 10 years on our roadways. I give you a number. We had 25,400 left turn movements at the intersection of David Avenue and Lighthouse Avenue. That means 25,400 people turned left at that intersection alone to get onto Lighthouse. And where do they come from? Of course, they come from Monterey Bay Aquarium and Cannery Row. So we will see how this all affects our data points in the hotel tax and the data points in the sales tax. I am very, very optimistic that we will have a strong June, and we will also probably have a strong July. The leisure travelers are back. The business travelers, the conference center business, the group sales business is lagging behind, which is absolutely understandable. But it feels like that a tidal wave is coming. That was a direct quote from our conference center manager, who is very, very concerned about that we are not really ready in the conference center yet to deal with large crowds of visitors coming. So last night at the council meeting, we added or reintroduced again 2 more regular part-time positions. So these are not full-time positions into the mix. One is a facility attendant, and the other one is a custodian that we will hire for the sports center. Now, a facility attendant is basically the person who helps the staff and the conference meeting planners to set up the rooms the way they want it. If you ever have attended conferences, there are a lot of fine details that are being discussed on a day-to-day basis. How do they want to set up the exhibition halls? How do they want to set up the luncheons, the speakers, etc.? So we need to strengthen our positions there. So we are getting another part-time facility attendant on board, and of course, cleanliness is absolutely important. So we'll get another part-time custodian on board. Now, what is important to know is that we expect there will be a tidal wave coming, and the first time you will see that the tidal wave coming is Car Week. I can tell you from talking to some of the general managers that their hotels are fully booked for Car Week. So also it appears that the August week's Car Week, we call it Car Week, but if you really look behind the scenes, it's actually a period of about 10 days when the car event starts, and they culminate then with the Concours d'Elegance in Pebble Beach on the last Sunday. But with setup and all the other work that is being done, car transporters coming in town to bring the cars that need to be sold, it starts about 2 weeks, 3 weeks earlier with all the setup. So Car Week will be again a full house here in the city of Monterey. and then we'll see what is happening in the group sales business. Like I told you, we are still lagging a little bit behind, but for next year, 2022, we have 29 events on the books already, which hopefully will take place. We had in 2019 26 events in total. So again, these are 3 more events, large-scale events in the conference center than we had in 2019. So trend is also that a lot of conferences are booking now years in advance again, and we'll see how this all hopefully will work out. Remember what I said at the very beginning, we have to be careful about the development of the pandemic and the Delta variant. So I'm just sharing with you what we currently have on our planning books. You see that also in the stores, the tourism stores, the restaurants, they are all coming back, and I expect also that we will see that in our sales tax data, that again we will go back to those stores that usually dominated the top 25 sales tax revenue generators here in the city. So all in all, this is not bad news because it will really allow us again to reopen some of our facilities. Library is hiring back people with a clear objective to be open for the public in at the end of July. As you know, the sports center has reopened, and actually this Sunday, the coming Sunday, July 11th, from 12 to 4 o'clock, we are welcoming everyone back who wants to come back. It will be a free Sunday afternoon, no charges, and we are specifically targeting or inviting families back to rediscover the activities that we have there. We will provide tours for those who have never seen the sports center and show them the different areas that we have, and we will also have free promotions there, free activities. So spread the word this week, July 11th, from 12 to 4 o'clock. We're specifically inviting families to please come back and enjoy our city sports center. Also, in the sports center, we have reopened the kids zone, and folks who want to work out can bring the kids and drop them off and work out. So the kids zone again is reopened and will take care of your children should you elect to work out. City staff is still working part-time from home, part-time from work. Part-time here at work. You can see our parking lot is filling up now as people are feeling comfortable to return to work. We are implementing a work model right now, like many other organizations, that will offer some days for the public, for the employees to telecommute. We have to figure this out, how we are doing that. One of the key elements, though, is that our work is that we are serving the public, and serving the public means also that you have face-to-face interactions with the public, because many times, and that's based on my experience, many times you solve problems the best way when you are interacting with the applicant, or when you're interacting with a resident, and you really learn what are the real challenges and you can figure it out. So we will be working with that premise that we are here to serve the public. However, there are, of course, certain positions that the public never sees, and for those type of positions also we will work on options to telecommute certain days. Also, some of our employees have 980 schedules. As you know, these are schedules where folks can work 9 hours per day and then have every other Friday off. And of course, we have to figure out how does this work also with telecommuting. So it's not a straightforward path to say here's the book how to do it. And last but not least, we have labor unions, bargaining units, and all those have to be met with and conferred with and then implemented. So it's a process, public process, like so many others. And but stay tuned. But I can tell you that more and more folks are back at City Hall. Last night's council meeting was a hybrid meeting where we basically met in the chamber. In the afternoon session, we had all 5 council members attending and a few staff, but we also had Zoom options available, and that worked out very well. I wanted to let you know there was somebody emailing us last week or the week before last, and that resident had received a letter from us that was in response to a note or a request that was being made. And the letter was, according to the resident, sounded very impersonal and very harsh. What I want to share with you is that some of the letters that we have to send out are written based on legal considerations, and they are based on risk avoidance, they are based on insurance requirements, etc. So if you get a letter one day from us about something where you maybe submitted a claim or maybe submitted something, we are in some instances required to send you form letters. And you have seen those form letters, and maybe even you have authored form letters yourself, because there is a point where you have to protect your own business, you have to protect a procedure, you have to protect your own interests, and in this case, these are the taxpayers' interests, and so we have to abide by them. So my apologies if some of the letters that we may send out, they are not a lot, but if they are sent out and they sound impersonal or they sound a little bit harsh, it's based on the value system that our society created through our legislative jurisdictional system. So we have to be careful in certain areas, and so that's the background for those letters, and I hope you understand that. The next item that is actually on my topic is talking briefly about the budget. We are now in the new budget for fiscal year 21-22, but I wanted to share with you we are also hiring for a finance director, and that will be a difficult recruitment. I can tell you that because up and down the state of California, cities are looking for finance directors, and that position seems to be a hot commodity, and finance directors are being sought after, I believe, in the city of Salinas right now. I believe that there are other cities around us who are looking for finance directors. I know other cities in Silicon Valley that are looking for finance directors. So in the end, our recruitment has started to replace our finance director. In my career here in the last, I want to say 10 years, that is probably our 5th recruitment that we are running for finance director. They are difficult to find, hard to find. And last but not least, there is a competitiveness in the cities also with the salaries. We have not raised the salary for finance directors in a long time, and we don't plan on doing that. But I want to let you know that the attraction is, of course, to come to Monterey, which is a pretty complex city with respect to financial systems. And it's pretty good to have the name City of Monterey printed on your resume one day. So we are hopeful that we'll find someone, but for this recruitment, we also have hired a professional headhunter company, and we are hoping that they can give us a little bit of an edge when we are comparing that with other cities. So we are hiring right now for a finance director. I think that process will be completed probably by early September, where we probably hopefully have a candidate, or we have to do something else if we do not find a qualified candidate. So wish us luck, because it will be difficult to find a good qualified finance director for the city of Monterey. For the time being, we are getting by. We have accomplished quite a bit over the past months or so, but we are being helped also by a former finance director for the city of Monterey, Don Rhodes, and he is grateful. I'm grateful for Don to jumping in and helping us and steering the ship. And again, he was a long-time finance director in Monterey from 1999 to 2014 or 12, around that time, and his mental muscle memory has kicked in, and he knows very well where all our funds are and what to do. Cannabis is the last topic that I actually had written down here, Esther. I wanted to talk about that as well. Thank you for your question. We have scheduled 2 outreach meetings next week. And just to recap, why are we doing that? The last time we went to the city council and basically asked the council to give us a number, how many cannabis operators they like to permit and in what areas. Staff proposed 3 commercial dispensaries to be located in Old Town, and 1 in Old Town and 2 in New Monterey / Cannery Row. At that time, those of you who followed the discussion, the council had some back and forth among themselves, and in the end, they asked us to go forward with the with another public outreach meeting, because they wanted us to clarify whether we really do not want to put one dispensary up in the North Fremont area. So we have for next week scheduled 2 outreach meetings. One will be just with the North Fremont Business District on Monday. It will start at 1 o'clock, I believe, or 1:30. And then a second one is scheduled for Tuesday with the neighborhoods. And we will talk then to the neighborhoods at Laguna Grande, Casanova Oak Knoll, and Villa del Monte. And we want to also hear what the neighbors again have to say. Our impression was from previous outreach meetings that there was not a lot of enthusiasm for having cannabis operators located in North Fremont. We again will just gauge that and then go forward with that at the end of August, Esther, at the end of August to the city council, and again we'll bring forward a staff recommendation, and again we'll ask the council to vote and give us directions where to place the commercial cannabis operators, and also the number of them. I can share with you right now from a staff perspective, the sales analysis, sales tax analysis clearly disfavors North Fremont. And we have to be concerned, we have to take this under strong consideration, because we don't want to set up an operator for failure. If a North Fremont operator is not successful because there are adjacent dispensaries over in Delray Oaks as well as in the city of Seaside, something's got to give in the operation of that. And if something got to give on the operation, that is probably staffing, that is safety, security. So we need to find the spaces where the most success is projected for commercial cannabis operators. We will hear out what the neighbors have to say. We will hear out what North Fremont has to say. And as staff, we will translate all that into our recommendation. We'll present all the data to the council again, and then hopefully the council will make a decision. Again, this will happen at the end of August. Those of you who have any more questions about that process, our website, Have Your Say Monterey, is constantly updated, because we are getting constantly inquiries from commercial dispensary operators, and whenever we get an email from them, we are posting that. So please keep an eye out, have your say Monterey, and look at the various topics there. I think we are managing right now 3 or 4 different topics, among them sea level rise, and I think the FORTAC trail, and cannabis is also one of them. So as we go through topics, we'll add topics and we'll take topics down from that website. Again, have your say Monterey. While we are at the website, let me share with you another piece of information that might be interesting. Is when you go onto our websites now, you may see a note that the license has expired or something like that. That is because we haven't paid our fees to the vendor right now, and we haven't paid our fees to the vendor because we are switching website operators, and we are just in that process right now. Our team, Lori, Helga, Nat, are working on bringing our website over from one platform to the next. The platform that we have right now was very, very good for us for probably 5-6 years. We are now switching it to another vendor that has more technical capabilities, and it was just not worth for us to pay $14,000 for July and August to maintain a product that really is running low on steam, and switching to the new product is just imminent. So the cost of saving $14,000 or so is that you see a little box popping up and saying this license is expired, contact someone. I think we can get by over the next couple of days, couple of weeks, and then when we switch over again, what you will notice also is that when you Google City of Monterey, it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 days to catch up. So the search engine needs to get trained to the new website locations. You will see in the beginning, if you Google something, it will give you way less search results. We had the same effect 5 or 6 years ago. I remember David Schmaltz sending something out as on a squid that the city has disappeared or so, but it's just that the algorithms of the search engines have to adjust. So don't panic. What are 5 or 6 days of Google challenges in the history of 251 years of the city of Monterey? Last topic, there was a question. Yeah, Esther asked a question about the RFP process for the affordable housing. We fixed about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a resolution that had actually the California State Housing Office required us to fix because we had a little hiccup in our RFP at that time, but in the end, it all came to a golden solution. We are reaching out now to the vendors. Mid-Penn is the primary vendor right now, and we have started the discussion about the build-up of new affordable housing units on 4 sites that the city of Monterey will be giving to those developers at a very, very advantageous conditions. The biggest challenge is that we need the water. And as you recall, the water district sent out an email, or sent out a letter to the State Water Resources Control Board to ask for an allocation of 75 acre-feet of water coming out of the existing water. This is not a new water. For housing, and it was supported by many organizations, was supported also by the city council with an additional letter. Frankly, that has lost some steam. I will be meeting with Dave Stolt in the next couple of days. There's a meeting already scheduled, and we will strategize together what will be the next steps. What do we have to do? I can just ask you to stay tuned, and then when we will come back with information, please help us get that water. This is very important, Esther, when we want to talk about the housing RFP, because if we only have 1 acre-foot per per site, that really changes the economics for 100% affordable housing units. So we really need to get parallel going forward, get the water from the State Water Resources Control Board approved, and also negotiate with our RFP partners there. So it's a two-step or it's a parallel process, and the way I foresee that is probably that it will take another campaign. I also encourage you to reach out to Senator John Laird, who is familiar with that topic, and share what you feel about additional water being made available for affordable housing sites. Again, the potential with Garden Road and those 4 sites that we have is in the 500-600 units. So, and that really will make a difference here in Monterey. That's all what I have for today. It's 10:01. Thank you all for your questions. I think I got them all covered today. And with that, stay safe out there. Shoot me an email if you see anything that doesn't run well. And shoot me an email if you occasionally see something running well, like the cleanup at Laguna Grande or the beach. So thank you for the kudos that were shared with us. We'd like to see that. Another hint, if something runs well and you send me that Friday afternoon, that's the best time to send us something, because that's when the week is over and we got sometimes beaten up severely. With that in mind, have a great day, everyone. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.